It almost feels like cheating the way that I approached getting the Fintech challenge done. By the way, great piece of content. I actually really enjoyed this. I also enjoyed it because I approached it from a different perspective of taking it on. Things that were pain points, it was done very easy. Now, people will say, and you're quite rightly, whether you're in the comments or not, like you probably just did it with the champions that were mentioned. But there is a way to do the Battlerealm Brawl Throwback, the Fintech special, in a very easy and cheesy manner. Now we're going to see that right now, because you might be wondering, well, Onslaught is not a member of the team that you're meant to use as part of the objectives. Also, in game at the moment, in this quest, there is a bug. The bug is that as soon as you defeat one Atuma, like on path 1, it will trigger for the objective on some of the other paths. This actually helps you out massively, but this trick we're going to go over does help as well. I also recommend to anybody that's approaching this, and again, I know that people from like Valiant and if you're higher up going, oh, I did this really easy, it's super easy, cheesy with this. Yeah, like this isn't really aimed at you. If you've done this content, then it's not aimed at you, but it's aimed at making it super easy for those that are going to take it on. Maybe you've got 6-star versions or 5-star champions that want to make this more easy as possible. Well, first of all, put boosts on. That's probably the main thing. But how you take on getting these objectives smashed out really easily is down to this. So on screen right now, you're going to see Spiderham taking on Longshot as part of the objectives. Yes, that's objective number 1, Rich. Yep, on path 2. Oh, that's objective straight after, using Absorbing Man against Atuma. Yeah, okay, fine, Rich. Well, what's the point? Well, the point is when you get to the last boss. Now, I'm not very good against Tigra, so what I did instead was I then replayed back the quest from start using some of the non-objective champions that I thought were incredibly easy to get me up to the final boss. Therefore, I've got 2 additional champions that are just great options to whittle down health of the final boss. It also just helped to just get things into the right stage that I wanted to. You're going to see that largely later on, but if you were looking for just like quick passage champions, and like I said at the start of the video, hopefully you were listening, because some people don't choose to listen. There is a bug at the moment, and you can exploit the bug by using some of these champions in general. So you might be able to avoid using Absorbing Man on path 4. Shuri on path 4. That's actually a truth at the moment. That may not be around forever, but at least if you use it now, that's an option. But yeah, the plan is that what you can do is making it easier for yourself to have some of the better counters and options to take down the final fight, or whatever fight is particularly problematic. And we'll go over a bit more detail on some of the other fights, but you can see here, I decided to get Storm to whittle down Kate Bishop, because as well, here's another thing. If the champion you're specifically using is not highly ranked up and you don't want to rank it up, then just whittle down the health with some of the other champions, and guess what? Use a champion you're not particularly good at and lower ranked to finish off the job. It's pretty much as simple as that, and you'll find yourself absolutely smashing through this. So there's something to also explain about this particular quest. I mean, first of all, it's a great piece of content, providing you know the workarounds for some of these fights. And again, to kind of give you another perspective on things, I'm not very good at fighting Photon. I have a 6-star Scorpion, but I decided to use champions to whittle down the health of Photon to make it more easier. If you're looking as well to take on that miss, because by the way, miss in action isn't exactly fun. So what's the best method of this? If you see that popping up in the top left hand corner, do a heavy attack or do a special. I normally have a special attack cooked up and ready just so that I can throw it to help out my situation. I think it's the best thing to have. Heavy attacks, normally you have to rely on other champion, is like you're going to be parrying, let's say. Atuma, not so easy to parry unless you've got a mutant based champion. Unfortunately, not a lot of the options do require you to use a mutant champion against Atuma. So that's not really great, is it? So having a special attack available to counteract that miss from falter is normally the way to go. You've also got Feat of Indestructibility, and I would say with that one, well, try not to reach 2 bars of power. Like, it's not really advisable. SP1 rotation's normally the best for this. And there is Feat of Energy. The defender's going to get power, right? Let's face it, it's going to get power. You will have to look at this and go, what is frustrating? If you are finding frustrations around miss, then you might have to bring a miss-based counter to be that champion to take you through those various fights, or kind of like just guide you through those fights the same way as we illustrated at the start of the video. But that's down to an individual player's perspective. This is really aimed at those that might struggle a bit with their kind of skill level, may struggle a bit with having the available options, and you want to get those Summoner's Fest realm points, which, let's face it, at the moment is a little bit tricky, isn't it? And it's a little bit kind of feels a little bit unfair at times. So yeah, that's something you've got to kind of like approach with this, and largely think about what is the better or best option for the situations. If I'm also pointing out something, there are some tricky or annoying fights. Like, you've got to watch out for Terex. There are a lot of champions that are very good counters for Terex, and I would say that if they are going to be the ones that take you up further, because Absorbing Man's the recommended one, and you might find it's a bit of a trickier fight if you don't have like a rank 5 6-star version, then you could be like, right, well, we'll park the opportunity, we'll get the perfect counter, we'll do the objective for a Tuma, get that done and out of the way, then bring in a specific counter to Terex to get him down 90% of the health, and then finish off with that Absorbing Man. I mean, you could bring in for that particular fight Kingpin, Cat Marvel Movie, Sorcerer Supreme, Bishop could be good here. I know Absorbing Man is one of the better counters, so let's face it, 9 times out of 10, like, it just will work to bring in Absorbing Man. That's kind of facts. But it just depends if you've, well, could be you got him. I'm sure there's going to be players out there that will say, well, the only version of Absorbing Man they might have is like a 3-star. Look, that could really be a thing. So it's more opportunistic as possible to whittle down the health, then finish off with the aforementioned champion. Just keep that in mind when you're thinking about approaching this particular content, your available options, and as well the process in which you want to and how to take it down. So that's really going to conclude the video. Want to say shout out to Fintech. I do feel sorry for him as well that this was done on a day where Kabam literally put out way too much content. It would have been nice for this to be released like next week, and there'd be more of a kind of promotion rather than the commotion of all these other bits of content. So yeah, bit of a shame. Would have liked Fintech to be more front and center of this, but like I said, we've got so many pieces of content dropping. Anyway, that's going to conclude the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for supporting the content. There's a lot of stuff to come out between today, tomorrow, and going into the rest of the week. I mean, I'm just checking some of the stuff I've got to cover, and it's like the list's ongoing. You know, it is ongoing, and it's ridiculous. This is also more important now because, and I forgot to say this, here's another kind of like twist to all this. This kind of concludes the volume of Summoner's Fest points that we are farming for the realm event. So the Summoner's Fest realm event, like this basically is the big push to get a lot of the free points. We're going to be covering a lot of that stuff towards the end of the week and going into the weekend. So yeah, apologies for all the videos that are going to be put out, but like Kabam have also been and done their kind of part in this by releasing so much content to do, and having to catch up and also cover guides, information and stuff is relentless. So I haven't even opened up a crystal, I think, in about a month. Granted, I'm going to do a Rebirth crystal opening at some stage, but that's down to test what's actually in it. Anyway, right, I'm done. Thanks very much for supporting the content, as I said. Lots of videos, lots of coverage, lots of guides and things. Shout out to Fintech, and yeah, remember your rotations around the champions. Did forget to mention that in a video, but keep to SP1s so you don't kind of trigger that thingamajig. But I'll put information in the description. Right, bye.